This happened about 2 years ago, but I still get chills when I think about it. I was 24 at the time and living alone in a small apartment in a quiet part of town. It wasn't fancy, but it was affordable. And since I worked nights at a diner, I liked that it was pretty peaceful during the day. So, on this particular day, I had a rare day off. I slept in, made myself a late breakfast, and spent most of the afternoon lounging around watching TV. Around 6 p.m., I decided to take a shower and head to the grocery store to stock up on food for the week. After my shower, I wrapped myself in a towel and headed to my bedroom to change. That's when I noticed something odd. My closet door, which I always kept shut, was slightly open. Not a lot, just enough that I could see the edge of the dark space inside. At first, I thought maybe I'd forgotten to close it all the way. I walked over and pushed it shut without really thinking about it, but as soon as I turned around, I swear I felt something, like the tiniest shift in the air behind me. I told myself I was just being paranoid and went about getting dressed. Fast forward about an hour. I was at the grocery store wandering down the aisles when I realized I'd forgotten my reusable bags. Typical. I debated buying plastic ones but decided to just go back home and grab them since I wasn't far. When I got back to my apartment, I noticed the front door was unlocked. My stomach dropped. I clearly remembered locking it before I left. I'm super paranoid about that kind of thing. Still, I tried to brush it off. Maybe I was in a rush and didn't double check. I stepped inside and looked around. Everything seemed normal. Nothing was out of place and there was no sign of forced entry, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I grabbed my bags from the kitchen, but before leaving, I decided to do a quick check of the apartment. I don't know why, I just felt uneasy. I walked through the living room, peeked in the bathroom, and finally came to my bedroom. That's when I saw it. The closet door was open again. Not just a crack this time, it was wide open. My heart started racing. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe the door didn't latch properly earlier. Maybe I'd left it open when I grabbed something. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. I walked over to the closet and turned on the light inside. It looked normal, just my clothes, some shoes, and a couple of storage boxes. But then I noticed one of the boxes was slightly out of place. It was pushed forward like it had been moved recently. I stood there staring at it when I heard the faintest sound. A rustling noise like fabric shifting. It was so quiet I almost thought I imagined it. But then it happened again. I froze. My mind started racing. Was it a mouse? A raccoon? Something worse? Before I could think too much, I grabbed a broom from the corner of the room and slowly poked at the box. Nothing happened. I poked it again, harder this time, and that's when I saw it. A hand. A hand shot out from behind the clothes hanging in the closet. I screamed and stumbled backward, dropping the broom. A man, dirty, disheveled, and wild-eyed, pushed his way out and bolted past me, straight out of my apartment. I was too stunned to move for a few seconds. When I finally snapped out of it, I ran to the front door and locked it. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely turn the key. I called the police and they showed up pretty quickly. They searched the area but didn't find him. The officer who took my statement said it was likely that he'd been in the apartment for a while, maybe even before I moved in. He'd probably been living in the crawl space above the closet or hiding out when I was at work. The thought still makes my skin crawl. I moved out of that apartment a week later and stayed with a friend until I found a new place. I check every closet and crawl space religiously now, even if I'm just visiting someone else's home. It's terrifying to think that someone could be living so close to you, watching your every move without you even knowing. I still don't know how long he was there or what he wanted, and honestly, I don't want to.